Today is December the 3rd, and you know what that means? Today is opening day for Salzwiesen Park. Today we're going to go over everything you need to know to hunt for all 15 species on this amazing new park. Now, Salzwiesen Park is a park and not a reserve. What does that mean? That means it is 1/3 of the size of other reserves, but it is a specialty map. Every species on this map is Class 1 or Class 2, and there are 15 species. So today we're going to go over all of them, how to hunt for ducks, how to set up, how to use the clay shooting range, the best loadout, and where to find absolutely everything. Let's get into it. Now let me know in the comments what you are most excited for. We have a lot of content coming out today, and somewhere in the video I am going to share a key phrase. Drop that in the comments for your chance to win a 1-month membership to the channel, and we are going to dive right into it. Let's have a look at the best loadout for hunting in Salzwiesen Park. So as far as weapons go, I carry with me the Virant 22, which comes in Weapon Pack 1. The Virant is good for Class 1. Every species on this map is either Class 1 or Class 2, so you don't need a lot of weapons. So then I have the Zagan Varminter 22-250, and that comes with the Emerald Coast DLC. This is good for Classes 2 to 4. You can also substitute this for the Ranger 243, also good for Classes 2 to 4, and the 243 is non-DLC. Then you need a shotgun, so you can choose whatever your favorite shotgun is. Mine is the Strandberg 10 gauge, and that comes in the high caliber weapon pack. Now, when you are duck hunting, we have the GOPI 10G Grand, which is the shotgun that comes with this map. It has 2 shots. It is quite powerful, but if I am going to use it, I like to have 2 shotguns because 2 shots is just not enough for me. Now, the nice thing about that is if you're carrying 2 different shotguns, for example, if I were carrying the GOPI and the Strandberg has 4 shots and the GOPI has 2, so use up your 4 shots, and if you need to continue shooting, don't reload, just cycle over to the GOPI and you have 2 more shots. But that is something I can grab from my tent when I am setting up to duck hunt. So for right now, we're just going to run with the Strandberg. Then I have all of my corresponding ammunition. As far as sights go, I do have the Angler 4 8x100 night vision rifle scope for night hunting, the Odin 4 12x33 rifle scope, the Hermes 3 7x33 handgun / shotgun scope, and these 3 come in the new Scopes and Crosshair DLC. And then I also do have the Red Raptor reflex sight, which is awesome for just giving you that dot to figure out where to aim. And this also helps if you are a little bit rusty at the clay shooting range. I found the Red Raptor sight is awesome until you are ready to pop it off and go scopeless. And then under lures, I'm not carrying any lures, but the one lure I would recommend, and you can just pull this from your tent when you are setting up for duck hunting, is the Fox Pro X360 electronic collar. Now, this thing is absolutely awesome, especially since it's been updated. It will now allow you to call in 2 species at the same time. It's fairly heavy. It is 3.5 kilograms. It's not something you need to run around with on the map. Pull it out of your tent when you are setting up. So we're not going to load that into the inventory, but we are going to use it later. Then under consumables, I have my doggy biscuits. Got to keep that dog at 3 hearts. I have my Apex View daytime binoculars, which are non-DLC, and the Gen 0 8x50 night vision rangefinder binoculars, and they come in the high-tech hunting DLC. And then I do have tents. Now, when you are purchasing tents, just a friendly reminder to always purchase the same variation, because it literally weighs the same for me to carry 1 tent, 11 tents, or 100 tents when they are exactly the same. However, when I start to purchase a different color, they weigh you down. Then you are carrying double the weight, so that is not what you want to do. Stick with 1 variation, and that is my loadout for Salzwiesen Park. So when you enter the park, this is where you will arrive, right here, and this is what the map looks like. So there are definitely different biomes, and there are 15 different species on this map. There are 7 duck species. Godwell duck and Ferruginous duck are the 2 brand new species that come with this map. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you exactly how to set up for duck hunting. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do is pick a spot and drop a tent. The only time I would not have a tent close by is if I am setting up really close to an outpost, because you are going to want to access lots of inventory until you are set up, and then you can go back to your regular inventory. Now with this update, ducks have been improved drastically. They work so much better than before. They no longer land on your head. They no longer spook instantly. They just work amazing. There's ducks coming in constantly. It's awesome. You're gonna love it. Okay, so when you are ready to do some duck hunting, first thing you want to do is pick a location. Now, I have put together a hotspot map that will show you where all the different duck species are on the map. So what I did to figure out where all the different duck species are is I went to all the different biomes and I dropped decoys of every single duck species and I figured out what came in. So just have a look at the map here, and for whatever duck species you would like to hunt, you can figure out exactly where to go. Now, the species that you will find all over the map are red fox, raccoons, raccoon dogs, black grouse, and ringneck pheasants. Now, I didn't find any ducks whatsoever in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. I believe that says Rauches Windfleur, and if I botched that, I do apologize. I am trying. But I did see lots of Greylag geese down there, but the best spots to hunt geese are actually in the open field area, basically in the top right of the map. But we will come back and refer to this map as we go through different species, and I do have a separate hotspot map for red fox. So then you want to go into the store, go down to decoys, which is under lures, and all of the duck and geese decoys are in here for you to purchase. Now, it is 4,000 in-game dollars for 10, and each duck species usually has 2 different variations, drake and hen, and geese have 3. Geese have sentry, feeding, and searching if you are setting up for geese. Now, you can put down as many species as you would like at one setup, but I will warn you, I have one setup right here that I put every single species of duck, and it was absolute chaos. It's just too much to put every species down because you can't spot them. So for that reason, I think you should limit it to fewer species than all of them anyway. 2 or 3 would probably be good. Now, the 2 brand new species on this map are the ferruginous duck and the gadwall duck. So I have already purchased these, so we are going to put those in our loadout. And the other thing you want to grab is the Fox Pro X360 electronic collar, and that comes in the Ambusher DLC, and it is absolutely amazing for duck hunting. So we're going to set up for ferruginous, for gadwall. Oh, while I'm doing this, I'm just going to take my tent out of the inventory. We'll grab it again before we leave and go hunting. Gadwall. And let's see. I need a Eurasian Widgeon diamond, so I'm going to put Eurasian Widgeon as well. So I have hens, so I am going to purchase 10 of the drakes. Now it says here, the effect of multiple decoys in the same area stacks up to a maximum of 20 decoys. So putting down more than 20 of each decoy is just a waste of your in-game cash. So limit it to 20 of each different decoy. And it tells you in here which collar you will need for each of these different ducks. And the range, 500 meters? That's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. So then throw all those decoys onto your loadout. Okay, so we have all our decoys ready to go. So then basically you just want to scatter them right out in front of you. You can put them in a semicircle. You can throw them all over the place. It really doesn't matter too much. They're going to bring the ducks in and they're going to bring them in fast. So throw those all down. Doesn't take very long. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I have put down 20 of each different species, 10 hen and 10 drakes. Now, the next thing that I would recommend that you purchase is a waterfowl blind. And my favorite is the Incognito Deluxe Waterfowl Blind, which comes in the Duck and Cover DLC. I believe you do get some for free when you purchase it, and then they are $8,000 each. So let's throw that in our loadout. You can also use the Incognito Deluxe Water Layout Blind, and that comes with the Revontuli DLC. Now, the reason that I prefer the Waterfowl Blind over the Water Layout Blind is because I find that you have a blind spot when you get in this. You can't spot ducks straight above you, and so if they're flying overhead, if they're in that blind spot, it drives me crazy. Okay, so this is the water layout blind. So you don't want to have it like super duper close. I'd back up maybe about, I don't know, 40 meters, something like that. Drop it down. And the next thing you want to put down is your e-collar. Okay, here it is. So we'll drop that right in front of the ducks. Beauty. And then when we're ready to go, so then grab your loadout. Okay, so here are the weapons I'm going to be using. I have the GOPI 10 gauge Grand, the Strandberg 10 gauge, and the Virant 22. Now, one thing I am going to recommend is before you start hunting for ducks or waterfowl of any kind, maximize your loadout. And what I mean by that is you want to get as close to your maximum loadout as possible, because if you don't, when you're spotting ducks, you're going to accidentally pull decoys, and it is very frustrating. But if you don't have room in your inventory, that cannot happen. So it doesn't really matter what you put in as long as you get as close to 20 kilograms or 23 kilograms if you do have the pack mule skill. So I'm just gonna throw some collars in there. It doesn't really matter what. And now we're at 19.75 out of 20. Absolutely perfect. Now we are ready to do some duck hunting. So then get into the blind. Now what I like to do is get right up on the edge. Now make sure you're not too far forward. See there? I am not hidden. And if I shoot ducks, I am not going to get reduced hunting pressure. Not that it matters too much, but you might as well balance yourself properly. And that gives you a little bit of extra elevation. So then you want to turn on the Fox Pro collar. Okay, so just click, pick whichever species you're going to call in. I'm going to choose Ferruginous duck, scroll down, add second call. Second duck is going to be the Gadwall duck, and then I'm going to press R, and now it is calling for me. And now we wait for the duckies. All right, now if you find you have no ducks coming in, just simply exit to the main menu and come back, and they will just come in right away. Now, since this update, ducks no longer have a sense of smell, so you don't have to worry about your wind, but their other senses have been heightened. Now try and spot every single one because you are looking for rares and for level 3s for potential diamonds and even diamond potential level 2s. Now diamond for Ferruginous duck and for Gadwall duck is 1050. They have the same diamond trophy rating. So then once you're ready, zero your shotgun. I'm actually going to use the Marksman Exact Reflex sight. Now, I will be hunting with my pointer once it becomes an expert dog, which I have not been able to level it up yet, but I will very soon. So right now I am hunting with my retriever. So before we start, we're gonna get the dog up to 3 hearts so that it does perform at full potential. Okay, so then we're just gonna get the dog to stay. And the dog is fine there. It won't spook ducks. Get up on the edge. The collar is going, and the ducks are already coming in. Beautiful. So they're gonna circle, but they're not gonna circle for a crazy amount of time, and then they will come in and land. You wanna spot every single one. So I have put the Red Raptor Reflex sight on both the GOPI and the Strandberg. And the reason I have 2 shotguns is I have 2 shots with the GOPI, and I have 4 with the Strandberg. So when I use my 2 shots, I'm not going to reload. I'm just gonna cycle over to the Strandberg and continue shooting. That gives me 6 shots. Okay, so usually I just shoot 1 duck out of the water and then I shoot them in the air. So make sure you're zeroed properly. Now, when they start flying, you want to lead the shot. You want to aim in front of the duck so that it flies into your pellets. And more are coming in. We've got Ferruginous and Gadwall ducks here. Okay, here we go. And splat. Oh, I'm not used to having 2 shots. Let's try that again. Actually, I think I'm gonna put the Strandberg first. 4 shots is better than 2. Now, once you have ducks on the ground, just press B twice if you are on PC. I'm not sure what it is on a controller, I'm sorry. And the retriever will bring all the ducks to you, which is awesome. Okay, and there is our first duck. It is a level 1 Godwall, and it is a male. So beautiful. Very cool. And not even 20 seconds later, more ducks are coming in. So you won't be waiting long. So we're gonna spot every single one, see if we have any 3s or any that look different from the rest. And if we do, we will definitely be shooting them first. If you have too many ducks flying around, it becomes impossible to spot them all, which makes it difficult to trophy hunt. And in they come. Now I like to 0 to 75. Okay, now this is just to show you a different sight on the Strandberg. I actually have the Hermes 37x33 handgun / shotgun scope. Okay, here we go. And they are off. And they're fast, so you want to aim on top. And I got them both. Beautiful. Now, if you only get 1 or 2 pellets into them, they can fly for a pretty long distance. So you might want to spot them so that you know where they will be so that you can go and pick them up later. And then that one is going to fall from the sky. And there it goes. Mayday! And splat. So then you can actually put a waypoint on it so you remember to go pick it up later because it is quite a distance away. Now, I like to set the time to really early in the morning when I'm duck hunting, so I usually set it to about 6 o'clock. Right now it's 8:20, so let's change the time and see if we get more ducks. Let's just put it back by 2 hours. Now, changing the time in a tent is 25% cheaper than changing the time in any outpost. Now, if you have a lull and you're being impatient, like me, I'm an impatient person, just exit to the main menu and come right back. Watch how fast we will have ducks. Okay, so if you do that, remember to turn your electronic collar back on. You just press R and we are good. And I'm going to get the dog to stay. Again. And here they come. Immediately. Frigginess. They're actually really beautiful ducks. That's it. That is how you duck hunt. Now, if you do have any questions at all, guys, leave them in the comments. I will definitely be going through them and I will help the best that I can. Now, the new shotgun, which is the GOPI 10 Grand. The birdshot is good for classes 1 to 2, the buckshot is good for classes 4 to 7, and the slugs are good for classes 6 to 9, making this shotgun good for every class except for class 3. Oh, and I should mention, if you prefer to do this with a tripod, that's totally fine. You can use a tripod. Any hunting blind will do just fine, but you do want to have some form of reduced hunting pressure. Look at them just coming in. They never used to do that. Duck hunting is so much better than it used to be. It's insane. If I just wait a little bit, more and more and more ducks will come in. Look at them coming. More ferruginous. And it all depends on how many different species of decoys you have down. The more you have, the more ducks you will have coming in. Now, if you are hunting geese, basically it's the exact same thing, but you're going to be using geese decoys, and I believe you can set them up on the water, or some really good spots are in these open fields out here, and you just do the exact same thing for geese. Okay, so now we are going to do some red fox hunting. Red fox is one of the 2 new great ones on this map. Now, red fox drink from 17 to 20 on every map that has red fox. Now, I have a bad wind here, so I'm going to back up a little bit before he spooks. But basically, red fox are all over the map, but you will not find drink zones in these swampy areas. You will find them at the edge only. But in a moment, I will show you a hotspot map for red fox. Now, in order to get respawns, when you find a zone with a male and a female, you do have to shoot them both in order to get that male to respawn. And I learned that through trial and error. Now, the zone will delete. If you have one animal in a zone, it's going to delete when you shoot it. If you shoot every animal out of a zone, it will delete. But red fox are predators, so don't worry about that. It's not going to affect your respawns. Your zones are going to delete. They are going to come back in very similar spots, if not the same spot, and you will be able to come back and hunt your respawns once that zone comes back. Okay, so we're going to take this guy. He's a nice big one. He's a max weight range level 7. If he gets back up, put another shot in. We got him. Beautiful. So I am going to be going for the Great One Red Fox first, and then I am going to be going for the Great One Pheasant. So what I've done with my tents is I have intermittently put tents in between zones. So I have 2 Red Fox zones. So instead of putting tents in between, I just have a tent up here. Drop your tents at about 230 meters away from the zone. The spook radius for a tent's about 180 meters, but animals can be anywhere 50 meters around the zone in any direction. So that way you don't spook the animal when you do fast travel. And there's our big fox. Very sweet. And they have been remodeled, and don't they look amazing? So fluffy. That's awesome. Yesterday I did put out a video on exactly how to grind for the Great One Red Fox. I actually figured out how they work in that video, and I will leave the link to it on the screen and in the description below. Now, if you are grinding for the Great One Red Fox and you would like to do some herd management, I would recommend shooting 5s and up and leaving smaller than a level 5. So for this zone, I would shoot this 5 and this female, and the zone will delete once I leave the map and come back. And when I run this strip again, I will have a new zone with 2 new respawns in it. But let's have a look at that map. So I would recommend checking for drink zones for Red Fox along all of the green lines, but I have indicated where my zones are with black X's. You won't have exactly the same zones as I do, but they will be very similar, and that should help you to find all of your fox drink zones, and there are around 40 of them. Raccoons are everywhere, raccoon dogs are everywhere. Now, I haven't had time to figure out exactly where they drink yet, but I will be putting together a very detailed super guide once I have more time to study the map, and there will be another video coming with more detail. Okay, here we have some raccoon dogs. Now, raccoon dogs have a new drink time on this map. and they now drink from 10 to 1300, which is so much better than 0 to 3, which is what they drink in Revontuli Coast. Now they are a class 2 species, so I like to hunt them with either the Ranger 243 or the Zagan Varminter, and they go to 9 legendary. Now only males can make diamond. I don't seem to have a male here, so I'm gonna shoot a female. And splat. Now there are also European rabbits on this map, and here we have some right here. Now the unfortunate part about European rabbit burrows is that when you discover them, nothing gets added to the map, so you kind of have to rely on your memory in order to know where your burrows are. But I do have a solution for that. What I like to do is take a decoy for an animal that is not on this map and drop one decoy when you find a burrow, and that way you will know where your burrows are. I actually use a single turkey decoy because there are no turkeys on this map. So European rabbits are class 1. You can use any shotgun with birdshot or the 22 or the Hornet, anything for class 1. Okay, can't see too well, so I'm actually going to swap over to the Hermes. That's a little better. Now I can't see them. See, you can see them with the naked eye, but then when you pull up your binoculars, the grass renders in and you can no longer see them. Okay, there's a bunny. Let's grab it. And splat. Now, European rabbits were also remodeled with this update, and aren't they adorable? I almost feel guilty shooting them. Almost, but not quite. So there, a couple pellets went into her, and I think the diamonds are female if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe they're not. No, they are male. Rabbits are male, hares are female most of the time. There are exceptions. Now, everywhere I go on this map, I find raccoon dogs, like everywhere. So I would imagine they drink all over the place. They probably don't drink in the swamp areas as well, if I had to guess. But again, I have not checked that for sure. And there's our raccoon dog. Very, very cool. I love this map. It's awesome. Okay, the next species we're gonna have a look at is the ringneck pheasant, and that is also the other great one that was added with this update, which is awesome. It's our first class 1 great one. Now, ringneck pheasants have to be shot while they are airborne or you will get no score. You will either find them in a solo zone, like this guy right here, or you will find them in a flock zone, I suppose that's what you would call it. And often you will find zones with 1 or 2 males and usually about 4 females. Now, if you are grinding for the Great One pheasant, which I have not done yet, I would imagine you would set tents about 230 meters away from zones with multiple pheasants in them. Now, you don't want to go barreling, running right at a pheasant, and you don't have to sneak up to them either. You can actually usually just walk up to them. Now, I do have a bad wind. He's already alarmed, but that doesn't mean he's going to run. We're just going to keep walking. Oh, he's running, so we're going to run too. Oh dear. He might get ahead of us here. But when he does flush, when he does start to fly, you want to lead the shot. You want to aim in front of him so he flies into your shotgun pellets. Now I don't see him, so I might have a problem here. Now, oftentimes they're a pain in the neck and they don't want to flush, and that's when the dog can come in very handy once you have them leveled up. There he is. How you doing, my dude? You gonna go for a fly? What do you say? Can't even see him now. There he is. Now don't fly into the trees. Good man. And whoop. Got him. Got him again. Now, pheasants can be found all over the map. I have seen them everywhere on this map. Now, max weight for pheasant is 2 to 3 kilograms. 3 kilograms is their max weight. There's some blood. That's a fair bit of blood. Now, I understand the other thing that has changed with this update as far as pheasants go is before the update, we couldn't shoot them while they're on the ground, but we also couldn't shoot them while their landing gear was out, while their feet were out and they were beginning to land. Now, I understand that has been changed and they are a little bit more forgiving, but I still have to test that out. So there is our pheasant, and they are absolutely beautiful. I love pheasants. I am very excited to do the pheasant Great One grind. I need more hours in the day. Very cool. Now, this area here is absolutely amazing for goose hunting. I actually do have some decoys down. You will find zones out here. We've got pheasants, we've got bean geese, Greylag geese, grouse out here. Grouse is another species you will find absolutely everywhere on the map. The species you will find all over are raccoons, red fox, raccoon dogs, black grouse, and ringneck pheasants. So this is a setup that I did for, what is it? For Greylag geese. Only thing I don't have is a oh, I have a tripod. I decided to use a tripod. So I do have my tripod a little bit set back. You don't want to be too close. Now, this can happen, and this is not the game bugging out. This is intentional. To be able to spot these geese, you either have to have them connect with a decoy or with a caller. So I believe it is possible if you were to start calling whatever that species is, I don't know what kind of goose it is, you could break it out of that trance and then you would be able to spot them. But that's basically how they work. But yeah, I just set out a whole bunch. I think I put 10 of each and then jump up in the tripod, do some calling. You know, half the time you don't even have to call. They will just come in to the decoys and you hunt them just the same way you hunt ducks. But out in the fields here is a pretty great spot. And isn't this map absolutely beautiful? Now these ones are connecting, so we can actually spot them. Now all geese go to level 5. They can make diamond at level 4 and level 5. And if you can believe it, in this exact spot, just a couple days ago, I found 2 level 5 geese. A Greylag and a Tundra bean, and I ended up with 1 diamond and 1 troll. Right here in this exact spot, both of them. Pretty nuts. Oh, I just spooked some raccoons. Oh, and there's a big one. That is a big one. So that is a max weight level 4 common raccoon. They drink from 0 to 3. That is their universal drink time. And you are going to find them all over the map. Now, I have not searched out their drink zones yet, but I will. And I will have a hotspot map showing you exactly where you will find them for when I make the super guide for this map, but I don't think you'll have a hard time finding their drink zones. If I had to guess, they probably drink in the same spots basically as red fox do. I don't think anything goes into the swamps. I could be wrong about that, but I see raccoons all the time along the edges of the map, so that is where I would definitely look first if you are looking for their drink zones. And last but definitely not least, we are going to go to the clay shooting range, and you will find it right smack in the middle of the map at the starting outpost. Let's go there now. Okay, so this is the outpost, and here's the shooting range right here. This is such a cool feature. Okay, so what you want to do is go up the stairs into the control room, and here are our selections. Single trap, double trap, random sporting, single skeet low, single skeet high, double skeet, and random skeet. Now I understand the random stuff is very difficult. All of it is not easy. It is going to take some practice, but we are going to start with just the single trap just to start with. And I will warn you, I'm not the best at this. I definitely need to practice. But you can stand on any of these that you would like. You can actually compete with friends in multiplayer, and you can see everyone's score up in the right-hand corner. And that is a very cool feature. So I am using the GOPI 10G Grand, the shotgun that comes with this map. Now, when you're at any shooting range, you have unlimited ammo. It never costs you any money to do this, so that is very cool. So make sure that you are properly zeroed. Now again, what I am using for a sight is the Red Raptor Reflex sight. So when you're ready, lift up your shotgun and blow your whistle, and it will tell you which button. So I'm going to press U, and you want to lead the shot. And I missed on the first one, of course. Give me a second to warm up. Got it, beautiful. Now I would recommend starting with the single, just until you have that mastered, and then move on to the double. And when you have that mastered, move on to the next one. And this is actually going to make you a way better hunter, especially with the ducks. It is going to be tough with the controller, but it is definitely going to help you improve. I feel like I'm pretty decent at shooting ducks and pheasants and things like that in the game, but when I come out here to do this, I feel like I'm terrible, absolutely terrible. Got it. But yeah, this sight definitely helps. Swing and a miss. And just practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Beautiful. And that's how it works. It's not too complicated. So this is exactly where we are on the map. And there you have it. That is everything that Salzwiesen Park has to offer. Hope you have an amazing opening day and have a blast hunting. If you do have questions, definitely leave them in the comments, guys. And if you did enjoy the video, splat that like button. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. Lots of guides coming and lots of videos on the new content. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to recommend that you click right here to learn exactly how to spawn a great one fox.